Okay, thank you for joining me for another lesson. We have previously discussed the different names of the United States. The United States, of the States of America. So now we're going to be discussing their capitals. It is very necessary to understand geography because you're definitely going to need it when you're navigating through the world. So, first things first, we're going to start from the West Coast and go all the way down to the East Coast. The reason we do this is because the West Coast has less states. It's much easier to cover at first, and then the East Coast is kind of like a drill where it's like then you go with all the different states and their capitals that exist there. So let us begin with California. Do you happen to know the capital of California already? It's not San Francisco, it is Sacramento. Sacramento is kind of close to San Francisco, but not really. It's more inland. Above California, we have Oregon, or Oregon. I say Oregon. Oregon. Other people say it different ways. However, the capital of Oregon is, I'll give you a hint, there were witch trials named after it. Salem. Very good. Salem is the capital of Oregon. Above Oregon, we have Washington. Do you happen to know the capital of Washington? It's named after one of their volcanoes, or kind of almost one of their volcanoes. Olympia. Don't mind my assistant, Chloe. She is currently passing away. Most unfortunate. She was a great assistant until she decided to get plagued with some disease. Misfortunate 1800s tuberculosis strain. Incurable, I'm afraid. Next to Oregon and Washington, we have Idaho. Do you happen to know the capital of Idaho? Chloe is deciding to be quite disruptive today. Boise. Boise is the capital of Idaho. Now, underneath Idaho to its right, we have Nevada. Do you happen to know the capital of Nevada? Carson City. I always think of the good and the bad and the ugly, but it's such a obscure reference to Carson, who was the guy in the treasured wagon, that it's not even worth using it as a sort of memory tool. Underneath Nevada, we have Arizona, and their capital is named after a bird. Do you happen to know the capital of Arizona? Phoenix. Very good. And above Arizona, we have Utah. Do you happen to know the capital of Utah? Salt Lake City. Very nice. Above Utah, we have Wyoming. Do you happen to know the capital of Wyoming? I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but it's either Cheyenne or Cheyenne. Above Wyoming, we have Montana. Do you happen to know the capital of Montana? Helen. Quite easy to remember. Then next to Montana, we have North Dakota. Do you happen to know the capital of North Dakota? Bismarck. Very good. And underneath North Dakota, we have, naturally, South Dakota. What is the capital of South Dakota? Pierre. Very good. And underneath South Dakota, we have Nebraska. Do you happen to know the capital of Nebraska? It's named after it's named after the 16th president. Lincoln. Very good. And underneath Nebraska, we have Kansas. Do you happen to know the capital of Kansas? It was featured in an episode of My Imaginary... Oh my god, I forgot the name of the show. My Big Fat Imaginary House Party. My Imaginary House. It is hot in Topeka. That is the name of the capital in Kansas, Topeka. Underneath Kansas, we have Oklahoma. This one's very easy to remember. Do you happen to know the capital of Oklahoma? Oklahoma City. Very good. Then underneath Oklahoma, we have Texas. Do you happen to know the capital of Texas? Austin. Very good. And then we go all the way back up and we have Minnesota. Do you happen to know the capital of Minnesota? I'll give you a hint. It's named after one of the disciples of Christ, one of the most famous ones. He had scales over his eyes that then washed away. St. Paul. Very good. Underneath Minnesota, we have Iowa. Do you happen to know the name of the capital of Iowa? Des Moines. Very good. Des Moines. And then underneath Missouri, we have, do you know the capital of Missouri? It's not St. Louis or St. Louis, it is Jefferson City. And then underneath Missouri, we have Arkansas. Do you happen to know the capital of Arkansas? Little Rock. Very good. And then underneath Arkansas, we have Louisiana. Do you happen to know the capital of Louisiana? Baton Rouge. Very good. And then we go all the way back up, and we have Wisconsin. Do you happen to know the capital of Wisconsin? Madison. Very good. Underneath Wisconsin, we have Illinois. Do you happen to know the capital of Illinois? It's not Chicago, it's Springfield. Underneath Illinois, we have Kentucky. Do you happen to know the capital of Kentucky? Frankfurt. Very good. And then underneath Kentucky, we have Tennessee. Do you happen to know the capital of Tennessee? Nashville. Very good. And then underneath Tennessee, we have Mississippi. Do you happen to know the capital of Mississippi? Jackson. Very good. Then we go over, and we have Alabama. Do you happen to know the capital of Alabama? Montgomery. Very good. Then we're going to go a little bit up, jump over Tennessee and Kentucky again. We have Indiana. Do you happen to know the capital of Indiana? Indianapolis. Very good. And then above Indiana, we have Michigan. Do you happen to know the capital of Michigan? Lansing. Very good. Not Detroit, Lansing. And then underneath Michigan, we have Ohio. Do you happen to know the capital of Ohio? It's named after a famous Italian explorer. Columbus. Very good. And then kind of underneath Ohio, we have West Virginia. Do you happen to know the capital of West Virginia? Charleston. Very good. And then underneath West Virginia, we have Virginia. And then do you know the capital of Virginia? Very good. Richmond. Not DC. DC is its own little territory. It's Richmond. Next, we have North Carolina. Do you happen to know the capital of North Carolina? Raleigh. Very good. Underneath North Carolina, we have South Carolina. And South Carolina's capital is, I'll give you a hint. It's named after a South American country, but it's not spelled the same. It's the one right underneath Panama. Columbia. Very good. And then next to South Carolina is Georgia. Do you happen to know the capital of Georgia? Atlanta. Very good. And then underneath Florida, we have, or rather underneath Georgia, we have Florida, which the capital of Florida is Tallahassee. Very good. No, it's not Walt Disney World. It's Tallahassee. Chloe, please, just make your peace with God and surrender to death. I am so sick and tired of hearing your tuberculosis going through my geography lessons. I need you to just make peace with the Lord. Let go. Let go. Anyways, we are now going to go all the way up to Maryland. Do you happen to know the capital of Maryland? Annapolis. Very good. Annapolis. And then next to Maryland, we have Delaware. Chloe, surrender. It's over. Let it go. And then next to Maryland, we have Delaware. Do you happen to know the capital of Delaware? It's Dover. Very good. Kind of like, isn't there a dog named Dover? It's a cute name. Nonetheless, Dover. The capital of Delaware is Dover, and the capital of Maryland is Annapolis. Next to, or above Maryland rather, is Pennsylvania. Do you happen to know the capital of Pennsylvania? It's not Pittsburgh. It's Harrisburg. Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania. Next to Pennsylvania, we have New Jersey. Do you happen to know the capital of New Jersey? Trenton. Very good. And then in New York, do you happen to know the capital of New York? It's not New York City, it's Albany. And then, Chloe, cease. And then next to New York, we have Vermont. Do you happen to know the capital of Vermont? Montpelier. This is where we start to get a little Française. And then underneath Vermont, we have Massachusetts. Do you happen to know the capital of Massachusetts? It's where a certain accent comes from. Boston. Very good. And then underneath Massachusetts, we have Rhode Island. Do you happen to know the capital of Rhode Island? Providence, very good. H.P. Lovecraft is from Providence. And then next to Rhode Island, we have Connecticut. Do you happen to know the capital of Connecticut? My leg is falling asleep. Hartford, excellent. And then next to Vermont, we have New Hampshire. Do you happen to know the capital of New Hampshire? Concord, very good. And then right next to New Hampshire, at the very tippity top of the country, is Maine. Do you happen to know the capital of Maine? Augusta, very good. So let's see if we can test. Oh, we forgot 2 states. Right here, the series of islands is Hawaii. Do you happen to know the capital of Hawaii? Honolulu, very good. And over here, right in Russia's backyard, we have Alaska. Do you happen to know the capital of Alaska? Juneau. Juneau is the capital of Alaska. It is Juneau, very good. Okay. So let's recap the capitals starting from west to east and see how we do, okay? We'll skip the ones that you can't remember and then look back on the map to see if we can kind of double check. So we're going to do it a little quickly. What is the capital of California? Sacramento, very good. Capital of Oregon? Salem, very good. Capital of Washington? Olympia, very good. Capital of Idaho? Boise, very good. Capital of Nevada? Carson City, very good. Capital of Arizona? Phoenix, very good. Capital of Utah? Salt Lake City, very good. Capital of Montana? Helen, very good. Capital of Wyoming? Let's go check. It is Cheyenne. Or Cheyenne. Cheyenne. That is the capital of Wyoming. Cheyenne or Cheyenne. Capital of Colorado. What's the capital of Colorado? Denver. Very good. What is the capital of New Mexico? Let's check again. Santa Fe. Very good. Capital of Texas. Looks like someone needs to practice a little better. It's Austin. Austin, not Dallas. Austin. The capital of Oklahoma. Oklahoma City. Very good. Capital of Kansas. Topeka. Very good. Capital of Nebraska. Lincoln. Very good. Capital of South Dakota. What is the capital of South Dakota? Let's skip it. Let's go to North Dakota. Do you happen to remember the capital of North Dakota? Let's look it over. We have the capital of North Dakota as being Bismarck and capital of South Dakota being Pierre. So French and Bismarck. Dutch. So Bismarck, Pierre. And then Minnesota. What is the capital of Minnesota? Chloe. I swear. I swear. I will deliver you to the Lord myself. Let go. What is the capital of Minnesota? St. Paul. Very good. Capital of Iowa. Let's go over it again. Des Moines. What is the capital of Missouri? Jefferson City. Very good. What is the capital of Arkansas? Little Rock. Very good. Capital of Louisiana? Baton Rouge. Very good. Capital of Mississippi? Jackson, Mississippi. Good. Capital of Alabama? Montgomery. Very good. Capital of Tennessee? Nashville. Very good. Capital of Kentucky? Frankfurt. Very good. Capital of Illinois? Springfield. Very good. Capital of Wisconsin? Madison. Very good. Capital of Michigan? Lansing. Very good. Capital of Indiana? Indianapolis. Very good. Capital of Ohio? Columbus. Very good. Capital of Florida? Tallahassee. Very good. Capital of South Carolina? Columbia. Very good. Capital of North Carolina? Raleigh. Very good. Capital of Virginia? Richmond, not Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. It's its own territory. Capital of West Virginia? Charleston. Remember, Charleston. very good. Capital of Maryland. Good Lord. Capital of Maryland. Annapolis, very good. Capital of Delaware. Dover, very good. Capital of Pennsylvania. Harrisburg. Harrisburg. Capital of New York. Albany, very good. Capital of Connecticut. Hartford, very good. Capital of Rhode Island. Providence, very good. Capital of Massachusetts. Boston, very good. Capital of Vermont. Montpelier, very good. Capital of New Hampshire. Concord, very good. And last, capital of Maine. Up here, tippity top. Augusta, very good. Capital of Hawaii. Honolulu, very good. And capital of Alaska. Juneau, very good. Okay, you have a little more studying to do, a couple of little small patches of forgetfulness, but otherwise, on the whole, you did an excellent job. I think you're more than prepared, or almost prepared for the test tomorrow. So, in that case, study up a little bit, and then you'll do great on the test. In any case, thank you for coming back to your geography lesson, and I hope you take care.